Hi everybody and welcome back to Create Above and Beyond. Since we last left off, I did math. So make sure to like the video for math, because if you like the video and somebody else likes the video, that's 1 + 1, which equals math. Amount of likes on the video. Okay, seriously, before you run away, it looks really intimidating, this whole web of interconnecting lines and numbers and stuff. It actually wasn't that bad. Chosen Architect had me really scared about like spreadsheeting a bunch of stuff. It wasn't terrible. We'll get to it though. In the meantime, I did do another overnight AFK session. We're up to 150 stacks of calculation mechanisms, which there was a little bit of a panic attack in the planning stages in between episodes thinking, oh, that's not going to be enough. But I'll tell you why. It should be good. It should be good. Nothing to worry about. I added a couple more windmills because we're going to have to do a whole bunch of crafters today. But it shouldn't be that bad. That's gonna be famous last words. But anyway, you know how I was saying that like I need to do some strip mining so that I can get more diamonds and gold and stuff, because my diamonds, I did some strip mining. To be clear, I got a whopping like 1 extra vein of diamonds. That was great. But then I was like, what am I doing? I'm an idiot. I'm rich. I have 12,000 silver. What the frick am I doing? I can just buy my way to success. Okay, it's kind of expensive. It's a stack of silver for a diamond, but at the same time, like, we can afford this. So I'm gonna buy this real quick here. All right, let me grab some silver so we can like buy the trade at least. And then after that, we can do a little bit of diamond purchasing. Not that we actually need this right this second, but I wonder if does it accept if I just, no, it literally like has to be gold, which is a little bit annoying. I don't know if there's a trade that you can do that just exchanges silver to gold. There is actually. I should get this one. That's a great one. Okay, so if we do this one, then I can just boom, and I can convert to gold. Granted, this is gonna be a little bit slow, so the best way to do this would probably to put a drawer of silver on top of this one, have it go into gold, and then have this one import into one that's doing diamonds would be my best bet. Since this isn't urgent, I'm not gonna do it like right now and do the whole setup, but I can do this right here, and then I can just get more diamonds, so that this way, if I need to do any of the processors over here, the engineering ones that require diamond, I'll be able to just get some more pretty easily. Same for gold as well. Although I did get a little bit more gold that I haven't smelted down yet, which actually wasn't very much, to be fair. I didn't go over to the Mesa biome because I thought of this beforehand. I was like, you know what? This is going to be a way simpler way. But why don't we buy the gold trade here as well, just to have it? The gold trade is a lot more profitable. Gold is a lot cheaper to get than diamonds. Diamonds are just like exorbitantly expensive, man. They're kind of crazy. But yeah, each one here gives us should be enough gold to do one of the processors over there. So yeah, we can kind of pop off. It seems like an overnight AFK yields us about 4,000 silver. So even though diamonds eat up a lot of that, it should still hold us over pretty well. Oh, wait a second. Before I get ahead of myself here, I should point out a couple things I did in between episodes to change the machinery. So I realized I needed a buffer on this side of the tunnel as well as this side when splitting off the silicon. So for the first time ever in any chapter of the series, instead of a conveyor belt bringing the stuff into the chest above the deployers, we're piping it in. Technology. Pretty crazy, huh? We have 27 stacks here in buffer, so it's basically waiting on more of the inducted mechanisms to come in from over there, which come in from the next, the whole assembly line and all that stuff. And so now that we have, 150 mechanisms over here, I don't need to feed any more of the inductive. I'm gonna leave these in case we need to make more machinery, which we'll obviously have to. And then also another thing that was really interesting in between episodes, I came over here and the hopper minecart was gone. On this track, the other was fine. I'm like, what happened? Oh, first thing, I check this and it's not going anywhere. It's stuck in place. I'm like, what the frick is going on? I look in, sure enough, a bat died in the hopper minecart and it couldn't insert the wand, and so it's just stuck doing nothing. I'm like, thanks. Another bat ruins everything again. No, but then I come back over and I'm like, now it's just gone? What, did the bat come back for revenge and just deleted the minecart? But no, you see how when the laser shoots it, right? It's as if you're punching it a little bit. It does a little like oscillation thing. The only thing I can come to the conclusion is that somehow, after like tens of hours of it going nonstop, no issue, the laser hit it at like the perfect resonant frequency and broke it. I don't know how. I have no idea. Frick, ow. Anyway, so it stopped running for a little bit, but everything's good. I can't remember. Did I have the resonant upgrade in here before, or did I do that in between episodes? Whatever, it's making silicon faster than it was before. So yeah, that pretty much catches you up to date on stuff. Okay, so before we start doing math, actually, I want to start from the other side of the chapter so that we can have this passively generating in the background while we're doing all the math, and then I'll have a bunch of the ingredients ready for the next step, which I should probably just hit the check mark. Welcome to the final chapter of this journey. Building the data center. What will this entail? Thousands of numeric calculations. I swear, don't run away. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be easy. Do not fear. As an inventor, you will let your creation do all the work for you. As usual, cast the combined logic of all your calculation mechanisms into 2 digits, from which you will calculate 8 others through a series of crafting operations. A digital ME system is recommended for managing the logistics, though not strictly required. Psh, who needs an ME system when you have this thing? I love this thing. I don't need an ME system, even though it allows you to like input and export, and might be, we'll see if it becomes necessary. I'm really hoping that it won't, but I'm gonna see if I can live with just the occultism. But anyway, so in order to provide mechanical calculators with numbers and operators, all available calculation mechanisms have to be melted down into the figurative processing power they provide. That's where we'll be getting back to. However, so you actually have basically like 3, 4, this is kind of a quick thing. You have basically 3 different sides that we have to work in from. We have the numbers, Mason. What do they mean? We have the fuel, and then we have the equipment. So what we have here is we want to get these matter balls. The way we make them is with a matter condenser. This is going to be how we make, you know, the spacesuit and a bunch of stuff. So I want this working passively in the background. The way it works, rocketry equipment is built from the light but robust material of matter plastics. Matter balls can be created in a matter condenser. First, insert a 1 kMe storage component into the matter condenser, set it to produce matter balls, and then supply it with the most abundant flow of items, probably sand, you can come up with. Don't throw your valuables in. The items are consumed in the process. So I think this should be pretty straightforward. We want to make the matter condenser, right? Which is just ME controller and a Fluix Pearl, which I think we're gonna need a little bit more Fluix here, which is just charged Certus core. We can do it in the induction smelter instead of throwing it in the water. So Certus, we have a couple charged, and then redstone, a couple of that, and then do we have any more core? One moment. Oh God, oh frick, oh no, oh dear, oh God, we topped off. I'm just gonna, do we want it here? I'll do one more of these, but then we can probably void, oh dear, yeah, that's not good. How long was that backed up for? Okay, it could have been worse. Could have been worse. Thank goodness for our buffers, Yikes. Let's just add a little void upgrade on there, because I think we probably have enough wood. I'm gonna be honest with you, we probably don't need too much more. Are we okay? Oh yeah, just a little bit over. Okay, no big deal. Sorry, I'm heading to the nether, because I just need to grab some quartz. Okay, anyway, also in between episodes, you know, I smelted some stuff. I got some more resources in different areas and stuff like that. Made some more brass, because we're going to need brass in order to make all the crafters. I've learned why the crafters come in sets of 3. Let me just go and yoink a little bit of, there's got to be some quartz laying around. I guess just that right over there. I'm going to fly over there, smash my face into it, and then, no, it's okay. Hold on, let me just get, frick, why do there have to be gas, like, literally everywhere? Go away! Don't mind me, I just took a little dive into lava, but it was on purpose. It was on purpose. I meant to do it. I didn't definitely have a panic attack for 1 second thinking, oh, this is the end. I'm losing everything inside lava, because I don't even remember if there's a corpse mod in this, which, everything's good. Oh God, that would have been embarrassing. Oh yeah, also a couple more windmills. Isn't it majestic, this whole line? I think it's great. Let's use technology for this. It's actually a lot slower than putting it into water and doing it that way. So whatever, it's fine. I'm sure you won't mind if I just take over this for a quick moment and get that going. Did I? Yeah, I did resonant upgrade. It's just so much slower than the Basil's one. The Basil's one just cranks it out. I don't know. We need that. Yeah, look at it. Look at the difference in speed. I guess it just depends on what the material is. That's the only thing I can think of. All right, now we should be able to make said Fluix Pearl thing. There we go. And now for our very first of the final stage fancy mechanisms. There we go. We have a matter condenser. It probably needs power, I'm assuming. Oh, the Enderman's got, there's an Enderman that just managed to, I kept this open, I guess, because, you know, when I was wiring, and he just was like chilling in there. I spared him, but I guess he left. which is probably better for all of us. So here's my thought, right? Do I want to just put this here? Let me find a good place to put this. All right, so good thing in between episodes, I kept the abstruse mechanisms going because I figured we're gonna keep needing a lot of those. So I'm gonna need one more ender chest here because the idea is I think our most abundant junk resource that's just been voiding, obviously, in the void chest way back over where the crushing wheels are, is sand. So instead of continuing that to go to waste, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have the sand start going into the matter condenser, and that will be what gets us the stuff. Maybe, should I just like put it over, where do I put this? I'll do it right here. Watch, I don't actually need to supply this thing with power. I don't know anyway, so it's gonna be hopper there, and then we will have the matter condenser there, which, yeah, probably didn't need power, but that's totally fine. Then a hopper on topper, and then finally an ender chest, which I'm gonna need to die before I put it down. Okay, cool. And I think this will still work even if, yeah, there's something above it. So does this work? Oh yeah, I need the 1K ME drive. How do I do a 1K? It is easy peasy. Let's go, dude. It's so much easier than actual applied energistics. And so I put that in there. And now, oh God, does it need 8,000 per every single one? Oh, yeah. So this is a good thing to have going in the background. See, I'm scared to put a chute here because even though that'll make this way faster, the problem is the chutes, they really go. So I think that would cause more stuff to start getting, more sand to output than we're actually generating. So that's what I'm concerned about. But maybe I should just do it. But my other concern is that if we start like just going full hog on sand in there, then are we gonna actually not have sand getting supplied over here, and that's gonna stop this part of the process, although that might actually not be necessary at this point to keep that rolling at full steam ahead. I don't know, we'll see. Actually, yeah, here you can see the sand is not actually keeping up with the pace of output. So we are now between here and the TNT and the sand balls, we are actually losing more sand than we're generating. So I may have to, I don't think it'll actually critically impair the system at this point, but we will probably have to add more crushing wheels or something if we want to get that going faster. Okay. So that's a start for that. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes. Okay, so even though now I think things are gonna be pretty straightforward, I will admit that in between the episodes when I was planning, there was a time of panic. All right, let me highlight how this all breaks down. So we wanna smelt down the calculation mechanisms, right? And they go into this liquefied logic, and we can do that here inside of a magma crucible. Seems like a pretty straightforward way to do it. And every one of these calculation mechanisms gives us 30 millibuckets of the liquid logic stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So then from here, all right, we need to take this liquefied logic and we're basically gonna cast it into various different things depending upon what we want. So the only numbers that we are able to cast directly are the 8 and the 3. And then we have to use 8 and 3 and, plus, times, divide, and minus in order to make all the other numbers from that. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, hold on. So every single number, sign, so on and so forth, right? It takes 1,000 millibuckets of the liquefied logic. But every calculation mechanism in here only gives us 30 millibuckets. So I'm like, what the frick? Well, every single one of the numbers that we have to do is going to take like 30 calculation mechanisms. And then once you get up to here, you got all the numbers, you got the processes going, right? You need to get 8 of these computation matrices, which is a block of this liquefied computation matrix. Well, how do you make that? Well, you take, 10 millibuckets of each number, like you make the number and you melt it down again. Okay? And you need 10 millibuckets of each number goes to, instead of 100, it only goes to 50. Even though you get 100 millibuckets in here, it turns it into 50, which is whatever. So I'm looking over here. I'm like, okay, I melt down the number, gives me 1 millibucket. It took 1,000 millibuckets to make the number, and I melt it down, and it only gives me 1 millibucket. Excuse me, what? What? So I'm like having a panic attack. I do the math. I'm gonna need 480,000 calculation mechanisms or something like that. I have almost 10,000 right now. For reference, the kinetic mechanisms that I've been making since the beginning of the series, they've just been going, I have like 80,000 right now, okay? I'm freaking out. 480,000, I'm done. I just have to tell people I can't do this. What do other people do? Did they have the factory going like 10 times faster and I just didn't realize that I had to do it? 40 times faster, 50 times faster? So freaking out. And then finally, go back over here and I realize that the blast chiller, it's not a good way. Turns out if you use a casting table, it's 1 millibucket. Whew. I breathe a sigh of relief. Okay, I don't need 480,000. I only need 480. Oh, we got way more than we need, even if the math isn't perfect. So we aren't using blast chillers, everybody. We're using the tables, but then I get to like the other part of the equation, which is like, okay, well, if I'm using the tables, I have to like do individual melters or a bunch of stuff. And then no, I actually realized that I didn't need to have this set up the way that I've had it the entire time. Okay, check this out. What we can actually do here is I can just put a seared table down like this, put an ingot cast on top. Let's make a little bit more zinc here. Why not? And then, not zinc, sorry, brass. We need to get zinc to make the brass. Okay, so let's get this going into here, right? Let's get this going into here and then check it. So this is gonna mix, right? You know the process. You've seen me do this before. And look. I didn't need the melter. You can pipe directly into a casting table and it will perform the thing. Now, if I have the hopper, obviously the hopper's over there. If the hopper was underneath here, then it would take out the ingot and it would put it into the next step. So I can just have a whole interconnected web of pipes that are going to all of these seared tables, and I can use the casts, right? The casts that I was gonna put in the blast chiller and ruin my life, I can have in the tables instead. And then I can just pour out, have the hopper extract, and then you take it into the crafters. And so basically, right, you're using the 3 and the 8s, and you're doing whatever math you want to do in order to get to the resultant numbers. Now, the beauty of this is that using 3 and 8, obviously you get 3 and 8 directly, right? So here, I'm gonna, just because I have this set up the way it was, I'm gonna bring it back. But so 3 and 8, you can just, have casting directly, put them into a drawer, put those away for future use, for posterity, and you're good to go. But then in some other cases, right, say you wanna make 1. Well, you could take 2 2s, or you could take 2 3s, or you could take 2 8s, and you can do 8 divided by 8 or 8 divided by 3. You get a 1. So that's like, you have to do a calculation and you get the 1. Then there are a few numbers where it has to be 2 steps, right? Like you do one calculation, you feed that into the next one, but I got it all written down. I think this is where Chosen Architect had like the spreadsheets going, and it wasn't, I thought it was gonna be some crazy stuff. It's really not that bad. So let's just get it started up. And then if it's been confusing at all and you're like, okay, just stop talking and do it, just do it. That's what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna do it. First thing that I need to do though is I do need another magma crucible because we are going to need to start melting down the calculation mechanisms. Now, even though the blast chiller is a way to ruin your life, and I wonder if anyone has gone down that route before when they've done this mod pack only to realize too late that they are needing to produce 1,000 times more. Oh, the suffering. If I had actually gone that route and done the episode without realizing, it would have been bad. It would have been a bad one. Oh, that would have been a bad one. The amount of comments that would have been like, Jardan, you've destroyed yourself and you didn't even realize, but you've actually just ruined your life. Okay, I'm just gonna have these. What I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna take like a few of these, right? Just take a few stacks, because really all we need supposedly is, let's just, even if we round up to like 1,000 of these should be enough in order to achieve what we need to do here. Still got 8,000. In case we need to make any machinery, I'm just gonna sock away a couple thousand here that we can use for any stuff we need to make. If we wanna do like an ME system, maybe even a little bit more. And the rest, I'm just gonna start like insta-juicing rather than doing another, split things off and all of that. Let me just, I'm gonna get a hopper here, and then we're gonna get the magma crucible here, and we are going to start the melting process once I get some power over to here. All right, I mean, maybe it's not the most beautiful way to do it, but I like the look of the flux ducts. I think they're pretty cool. So, wow, that goes really fast. This has no resonant in it. Holy frick, that goes fast. So the beauty of it is these still, even if this is all in a smeltery, right, it still goes to 30 millibuckets per each of these, right? And so just to liquid calculations, liquefied logic, 30 millibuckets in a smeltery, 30 millibuckets in the magma crucible. So I'm not ruining my life by doing this. This is like freaking 4,000 numbers here, right? It's good. It's good. We're doing good. And now what we're gonna need to do here is I think before we start piping this out, let's just get all of the infrastructure set up. Okay, so here's where I had to start writing things down. But again, not complicated, right? It's just keeping track of things. So nickel plates are the way that you make all of these casts. And we should only need 32 of the casts, right? So looking over at my notes, we need to make 13. You can do this a bunch of different ways, right? This is just my way that I got to for doing all the different numbers. So we're gonna need 13 eights. 1, 2, they don't stack on top of each other. Of course they don't. Of course, why would they stack on top of each other? That would be dumb. 3, 4, 13. Cool. It's gonna, each of these, okay, they don't actually, I thought they were actually gonna, no, why? Don't, oh God, did I really I moved this to the worst possible location I could have. Anyway, okay, we're gonna put that in there. And then I need 8 threes. 1. Wait, you know what? Let me show you something else. You know what else I did in between episodes? Okay, you're gonna be really proud of me for this one. Make sure to like the video. It's kind of massive. So you know how we need a bunch of seared tables, right? Well, that would require smelting down a lot of grout. So rather than putting this in a furnace, right? Look, guys, I finally did an encased fan with lava just out in the open so that I could smelt things more quickly. Are you proud of me? You're proud of me, right? Because think of how long this would have taken if I put it in the furnaces. Think of how many people have probably left comments throughout the entire series being like, bro, why do you keep smelting in furnaces? You can just do it. And now I've done it. So I really hope you're proud of me. So anyway, now we have the remaining nickel plates. We're gonna need 4 minuses. Let's not overcook it this time around. And then we're gonna need 2 pluses. There we go. And then we're gonna need 1 multiplication. And then we're gonna need 4 divides, which is not a rodcast. I was the slash. I'm like, oh, that's a divide. Nope. There we go. 4 divides. And that should actually be all the casts for a total of 32. Hopefully. It's that simple. Pretty cool. And then these, yeah, there we go. We got all of our, oh, ow. I didn't actually need to light myself on fire there, but I did. Great. Next up, we're going to need 32 seared tables, which hopefully I will be able to do. I can't remember if I right click here, if it gives me 32 or if it's gonna give me a full stack. So instead, I hope that this is enough. It should be enough. There we go, 32 seared casting tables. Then we're also gonna need, as I'm sure you can imagine, 32 hoppers. Okay, it only gives 1 if I do that, so I have to kind of manually. Finally, I get to use some of this 3,000 plus iron now that it accumulates over each night. Oh, 40 hoppers. Okay, even more than I needed. And finally, we're gonna need 33 crafters, which should just be 11 brass machines. So let's get some. I might actually, do I have any crafters just sitting in here too? Yes, we're still gonna need to do 11 total, but 3 per should give us a whopping 33 crafter. Right, they're not in the stone cutter. They're with, I just need to do a little crafting table here. And there we go. And this, outside of the pipes and wiring all that in, should be basically everything that we need. And obviously put in the rotation and all of the crafters and stuff. But I think what we should start by doing is we should just start off by kind of creating the outline of what this is all gonna look like. So let's set these up in the order of simplicity. And the hardest part, I think, is making sure that we're generating all the numbers in equal amounts. So that's why I'm setting it up this way. Instead of taking one step and feeding it into a future step, I'm just gonna have a setup individually for every single number that we're generating. That way, hopefully, we're generating them all equally, because I think we'll be able to insert the liquid logic like equivalently into each casting table. We'll see, that might be the only tricky part. Anyway, so this will be 3, okay? So the 3s are gonna be stored in this drawer, and they're gonna come from a casting table on top of the hopper that just has has a 3 cast in it. This should be pretty much as straightforward as it gets. Now, next to this one, I'll give it just like, a block, maybe a 2 block gap, just to make sure that we have room in case we need to wire any pipes that we don't want to interfere. The next one will be a casting table with, I'm sure that you guessed it, we're going to do just the 8s because these are the simplest ones. They're just going to generate with 1 step, 1 casting table. Then we get into there's going to be 5 of the numbers are just a 1 calculation, and then 3 of the numbers are going to have a 2-step process associated with them, but that's as complicated as it gets. So the next one we're going to do is we'll do 0. And the way we're going to do 0 is we're going to do 8 minus 8. So let me, I just want to make sure I get the spacing here. I guess we can always move it if necessary, but we're going to do this. Then we're going to have basically 3 crafters here. All right, maybe I should move this over. Move this over one more. So we're going to have 3 crafters. And the way it works, right, if we go into, say, making 0, right, 8 minus 8, 0. So every single 0 that we make is going to be mechanical crafters requiring 8, minus, and 8. So we need to basically have feeding into these, right? We're gonna have hopper, hopper, hopper. And then on top of that, we're gonna have a seared casting table, seared casting table, seared casting table. And then we're gonna get 2 8s and a minus, right? And so we're gonna have 8 there, minus there, and 8 there. So every time it gets 1 millibucket of the liquid logic, it's gonna cast out, right? And then it's gonna put it into here, and then it's gonna do 8 minus 8, and we're gonna get 0. I'm trying to go in order of increasing number within increasing step size, so that was 0. So now the next one we'll do is 1, and I just wanna leave a gap here. These may change into ender chests later if we wanna route them into the final smeltery that's gonna combine everything. But again, it's the same setup here. So we put down the crafters like so, and then hoppers on top of each crafter. And then this time, instead of it being 8 minus 8, it's gonna be 8 divided by 8. And again, it's like, this is where it's totally up to you, right? Is you could do 3 minus 3 and 3 divided by 3 instead of using the 8s. It doesn't really change any of the expense or anything like that. It's, just a different way to do it. A 3 block gap might actually be better so we don't have any like accidental pipes interconnecting or anything. Builder's tea, delicious. Okay, so the next number after that is 5. We can make 5 with 8 minus 3. So again, pretty easy peasy to do it all. 8 minus 3 will give us 5. 3 plus 3 will give us 6. And 3 times 3 will give us 9. That is all of our single steps. Now we gotta get into the double steps. Okay, so a 2-step process is gonna be a little bit different. So in order to make 2, I wanna do 3 minus 1, but obviously 1 is not a number that we're supplied with initially from 8 and 3. So we're gonna do 3 minus, but in order to get the 1 down here, we have to feed it in from doing 8 divided by 8, right? So the 1 recipe, or if you were doing it, you do 3 divided by 3, whatever works. So we're gonna do a hopper there, but instead of having a casting table on top, we're gonna have a mechanical crafter. And on top of these, we're gonna do the 1 recipe. And since we're getting real high up here, maybe we should save a block of verticality and do it this way. And so then, right, we just get our 8 divided by 8, and we put that into here. And now that gives us a 1, and it funnels the 1 down into there, and this gives us the 3 and the minus, and that gets us 2s. In order to make 4, instead of 3 minus 8 over 8, we're gonna do 3 plus 8 divided by 8. And finally, I love it when a plan comes together. We made the exact right amount of everything. In order to make 7, it's going to be 8 minus 8 divided by 8. Please rate 8 out of 8. Mate, a lot more 8s than 3s. But again, you could switch it up and do 3s instead of 8s and balance it out a little bit more. But that is that's the basic template of things. Not too bad though. Now the difficulty is just getting the piping all ready. It is perhaps not the most beautiful setup for rotational input that the world has ever seen, but it should work at least. And I just love the fact that you don't actually have to worry about like what direction the rotation is happening. So you can just kind of slam down, you know, gearboxes wherever you need, and then everything will be good. We need a few cogs that we're gonna put down as well. And once I link this all up with shafts and gearboxes, we should have everything powered. I don't want to go in super fast because otherwise we're going to get like just massive amounts of stress from all of the crafting. But this is why I did some additional windmills so that we would not run into any sort of capacity issues with everything running out of stress, and then the entire factory stops working. And yes, I know there have been many suggestions. Hey, Jardon, you should really use the boiler thing. But you know, our windmills have been working so well that I just haven't found that to be entirely necessary to do. So let me get this all wired up, and then we'll just have to get the fluid going. Okay, and I think that's everything rotating with the crafters. Now, pipes. Okay, so this may end up being a completely unnecessary way to go about doing things. And by the way, this man's, they teleport in from outside the range of the Megatorch, and then they wreak havoc, leaving grass blocks all over the place. If I look at you, you get mad at me. In my own factory, no less, the nerve. But then if I do something about it, then people in the comments will be like, how dare you, that was so mean, you're absolutely heartless, he was just chilling. Anyway, I feel more confident about the liquid logic arriving at each of the casting tables in equal quantities if for every single casting table, it is one pump at the same speed in between the input of the liquid and the casting table. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put an ender tank here, getting filled up with the liquefied logic, and then I'm gonna do 5 ender tanks. And one is going to go to 2 different ones of the numbers, and it's going to be equal speed pumps just out of different sides. And I'm hoping that means that for every single one of these, the fluid will be arriving in equal quantities. So I just have to finish the final one here, and then everything should be properly wired up. One more cogwheel, there we go. So they're all pointing the correct ways, and hopefully once I slot in the ender tanks in between each of these pairs here, it'll start working. It's gonna be 6 ender tanks, one coming off of the output here, and I'm obviously gonna have to make them all not lava. What color should this be? Well, I guess actually we can use, I don't think we've done pink, have we, when it comes to an ender tank? We've done it on ender chest, but we haven't done pink. Pink it is, a highly representative color of this. I'm gonna have to, the only thing I'm gonna end up having to spreadsheet is what color corresponds to what fluid / material when it comes to the ender stuff. That's why he's here. It's because I'm dealing with all this ender stuff, and so it summons you. I know, I'm attaching it. Okay, maybe he's being like a helper, right? I think I gotta put a modular thing here, and then, okay, he's like, yeah, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. He's being instructive. And then people have said I don't actually need to have this thing on the side of the machine, so I'm gonna test that here really quickly, and we're gonna have it on output and auto output enabled, but it might be different because this thing is like outputting into there from this side, whereas if it's just retrieving, I don't know. Anyway, so all right, moment of truth, everybody. Will it start going? Yo, 8s, 3s, holy heck, oh my god, it's going fast. Okay, we gotta go fast, wait. Boom, and then get it in. Wait. I'll have to inspect things later. Boom, get it in, and boom, and boom. Come on, boys, come on. Let's get some 5s. Let's get some 1s. Let's get some 0s. Let's get some 6s. Oh my, I've made a terrible mistake. 1 second, I can fix this. I forgot to wire up one of the things. Oh God, no, what have I done? Hold on, I can, shaft. Oh no, this is gonna be in lesser quantities. Wait, what I can actually do if I wanna just stop this real quick, what I can do is just, boop. I could put a clutch on there if I wanted to, but this way it kind of stops the whole process. And that way you can just, oh, how did I miss this? What an oversight on my part. An incredibly massive oversight. He bungled it. How could he bungle? Don't worry. And then if I can properly do anything properly, boom, and then cogwheel, boom. Okay, now it's unbungled and boop. There we go. You're working now. Now you're working. Let's get it going. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Let's freaking go, dude. Let's freaking go. Okay, perfect. I was just eyeing that one for a second. Sevens. Okay, okay, so 4, 7, 9, 2. Nothing is messed up, right? 1, 5, 6, 0, 8, 3. That's everything. It's going. We're cranking. Oh my God, dude. We're calculating. We're freaking calculating here. And then heck, I'm supposed to like grab one of each individually, aren't I? In order to complete the challenge. But bro, look at us. We're gonna need some freaking upgrades in here. So I believe it is about 1,600 of each. Is it 1,600 of each or is it 160 of? No, I think it's like 1,600 of each of the numbers that we are gonna need in order to have enough to do everything. There we go. So let's get some upgrades in here. It might be less though. It might be less. Or I might need to do 2 upgrades into each of these chests. But either way, are we keeping up? Is it actually it is generating liquefied logic quicker than we are cranking through it all here. Imagine if I had done the blast chillers. I would have had like 1 number by now. What a disaster. Because I was on the verge, bro. I was on the verge. This is sick. It looks like it's operating at very similar speeds for every single one, which is huge. Yo, let's go. I knew it wasn't going to be that difficult. Dude, I want to get like an elevated view so we can see the logic inputting into all the different casts. I can't believe that we got this thing up and running first try other than forgetting a cogwheel on one of the crafters. But otherwise, like, it's going. It's doing it. And it seems like it's going at pretty equivalent speeds for every single one, so we're not getting super ahead on any one number versus others. I should just check that really quick. Like, so the 4s were at a stack and a half, basically. Stack and a half. Stack and a half. Let's go. Stack and a half. Oh my God, dude, that's actually sick. Even over here on the 1-steppers, we're a little quicker. The 1-steppers are, I guess that makes sense because they don't have to go through the crafting process, that they're going to be a little bit faster, but that's fine. They're the outlier, and it's not going to be consuming too many resources anyway. Like, because we're generating the liquid logic quicker than we're using it. As long as we still have a little buffer of the calculation mechanisms going on here. But dude. Okay, so we're gonna have to let these generate. I don't remember the exact amount. I'll have to just math up exactly how many of each number we're gonna need. And when I know that, I can probably shut off the 3s and the 8s in advance and then let the others catch up. But also, let me check over here and see what our matter condenser is doing. How many, let's see, so it has all the energy, but then what? Do I like throw a thing in? Wait, condenser output destroys items? Oh! Okay, hey, there goes our matter balls. I had to click a button as it turns out. Was I just trashing? It doesn't seem like, no, I wasn't just trashing. Okay, I was storing up a bunch of energy, so that just happened like way quicker. Okay, cool. So I needed to hit the button, but at least I figured that out so that we didn't have this sitting overnight not generating extra energy. Hey, we might not need to worry about doing more of a sand output than before. Okay, dude, this is great. This seems like a good place to wind things down for this episode. Next time around, once we've got a bunch of the numbers in the queue, ready to go, we'll be wiring them all into the smelter and combining them together in order to make the computational matrices. We need 8 of them. And then we have to find some oil, bring it back into the factory, use these things here in order to be able to make all the equipment. Plus, we gotta do a little blaze cake action. That might be a good way to get blaze cakes, actually, dude. I'm not opposed to that. Just buying our way to victory. Yeah, all right, everybody. Well, thank you, and thank you to my wonderful assistant for telling me that I needed to put the whatchamacallit, the modular reconfiguration into here so that it would output into the Ender tank. Much appreciated. I mean, he knows all things Ender. Kind of makes sense. So yeah, that's where we'll wind it down. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to stay tuned for more. We are truly in the final stages here, bro. Awesome. See you next time.